This right here is my favorite thing ever in the history of forever.
Hello and welcome. We've finally come to the end of season 1 of the 100 girlfriends who really love you. It's a bittersweet feeling, but it had to come at some point. We've come to the end of the Hakari rescue arc, and with that, the basis for the rest of the series is now set up. So we begin right off with where the last episode ended, and yeah, this scene was already suggestive enough in the manga, but wow. They went a bit overboard. Not gonna show it for YouTube reasons. But I do understand why the girlfriends thought that Rentero's purity was in danger here. But nah, he's just cross-dressing. And after he faints from the shock, Hahuri grabs a hold of Nano, and
5 minutes later,
she shows back up and damn, this is some quality stuff right here. Also, how did Nano's hair work in this situation? Like, we see her right afterwards. Her hair is long. Did I miss something? It's just like that in the manga too. I guess Hahuri hit it with the power of money. And then we move into the girlfriend's plan to sneak some pics of Rentero here. One of the great things about 100 Girlfriends is that it can take tropes that other anime have and flip them on their head and then dial it up to 100 and not only show how common those tropes are, but what can still be done with them to make them fresh and actually entertaining. So what I mean by this is, how many anime, even good anime, do you watch where the pervy, usually guys, try to creep on the girls in the hot springs episode? Well, here, you have the degenerates be the girls, and just about all of them try to sneak pics of Rentero the best way they know how, by bringing back the royalty-free Mission Impossible theme. And we also get a character trait of Rentero brought up again, that he's afraid of ghosts, which was seen briefly in the amusement park date with Nano. But of course, Shizuka's not with him, as they had to tie her up as Sushizuka, since she was the only one opposed to the plan. However, she has a strong will and still wishes to prevent any misfortune that may befall them, but not enough of a strong will to roll down the stairs. Thanks, dog. Naturally, the other girls were hoping to see Rentero Jr., but the only one who succeeded was Shizuka herself, which of course leads to the beginning of the horny Shizuka arc. Then we see everyone playing cards. Not sure which game, but I know it's not all made because if it was, they would have cut it since that would have been too boring, just like in episode 4. Until Hahuri needs to excuse herself. Her leaving the bedroom is actually a break in between chapters, and chapter 22 begins with Kusuri once again wondering if she left because she had to pee. What is with you about this? Anyway, we get to have a touchy moment between Hahuri and Rentero, and I really like what Rentero tells her here. She has every right to feel as conflicted as she does right now. She spent the past 16 years in love with someone deceased, and hasn't been able to let go of him. In that time, she's had plenty of suitors and potential partners come to her, but none of them could ever compare to the man she once fell in love with, and now she doesn't want to feel like she needs to throw those feelings away. But Rentero tells her that she doesn't need to. Of course, he's the last person who should ever say that you need to stick to monogamy, obviously. But he doesn't believe that because he's greedy or thinks he deserves to date multiple women. Hahuri shouldn't let go and forget her feelings to Hakari's father. She should continue loving him as well as believing her feelings for Rentero. And it's at this point that I think it's appropriate to bring up one of the series' biggest taglines and how it's misleading to an extent. I've mentioned it before, but Rentero isn't dating any of his girlfriends because he has to or they'll die. Yes, that is a factor. However, it's mainly a narrative device to get him to date Hakari and Karane, and to a lesser extent Shizuka early on. After that, it's very rarely brought up. For the overwhelming majority of this series, Rentero is dating all of these women because he loves them. The love he feels is genuine and reciprocated. So it hasn't really been a factor previously since the beginning, and therefore you don't need to worry that he'll only love them because he's trying to save them. I don't think that's a spoiler because we're never going to have a situation like that in the future. At least to now, up to the most recent chapter of the manga. And I say this because I believe the series is much more enjoyable when you realize this. When you realize Rentero's intentions are genuine, and so are all the girls. So, rant over, we need these two to have their first kiss, and with this comes Rentaro sweeping away Hahuri's insecurities and reservations with dating him. Also, Hahuri's first kiss is in my top 3 of the series. Nano's is in there too, and the other one we probably won't see for a while. But we're not done with the smooching, as after returning to the bedroom, Hakuri wants to spend some more time with Rentaro, since she's been through a whirlwind of emotions this whole night. Rentaro kisses her once again, promising that they'll always be together, until he needs to get up for the bathroom, and good lord, these two. Okay, I'm just going to have a counter on screen every time that we get a Hakuri x Karane moment like this. Anywho, Rentaro needs to get up, and in the hall he meets up with Hakuri's father. No, we don't know his name, but Rentaro calls him father anyway. I do like how Hakuri's father brings up that Rentaro is afraid of ghosts, so he should in theory be really unnerved right now. But Rentaro wouldn't even do that, because he knows how much Hakuri's father means to Hahuri and Hakuri as well. The two form a powerful bond of mutual love for the Hanazonos that will never be broken, even though he passes on to the afterlife immediately after. I like how this scene was handled here a lot, because it appears that Rentaro fell unconscious after Hakuri's father ascended, whereas in the manga it looked like Hakuri's father was maybe possessing the cat or something, and then cut immediately to the morning. And so we have to say our goodbyes to the Hanazono Mansion, since I guess the Holy War of Love and Soul took place on a Sunday since it's a school day now and everyone needs to get ready to go to school. There's a brief extra panel here that was cut of showing everyone's reactions to Hakuri and Karane's making out session. Hakuri says goodbye, even though it's revealed right after that she bought the damn school. Yeah, think of the logistics here. Hakuri didn't know until the assembly, which seems to have taken place during lunchtime. So in between Hakuri going to Hananomizu High School, Hakuri had to call up the school and buy it out to become the new principal in probably less than an hour. Yeah, you would have thought we wouldn't see her at school now. Nah, not in this anime. She's now the new principal. She'll be here all day long. All because she wanted to see her cute boyfriend, and I guess her daughter. The reactions of the others are just too good to this, and the episode ends with Rentaro racing back to the Hanazono Mansion, only to be told that he just barely missed her. Oops. And we get an anime original scene of Rentaro running back to school, and he passes by some interesting characters? Huh. I wonder if this means anything. Anyway, there's the ending we get for Season 1, and what a way to wrap up. Now, with the episode ending, I'm going to cover my thoughts on the season as a whole and what to expect for Season 2, since right when this premiered, a second season has been confirmed. Now, I'll keep this brief for my Season 1 review because you can see how I felt with every single episode, but once again, I need to give full props to everyone involved with Byberry Animation Studios. My expectations were high, and not only were they met, but surpassed. You can tell that everyone involved in this production, from the animators to the VAs, they all love this series. I've mentioned this briefly before, but I am planning to make an end of year video where I go over what my favorite anime of the year are, and without any surprises, I'm sure you can expect that 100 Girlfriends will be in that video somewhere. Also, with the most recent 2 chapters of the manga, the fan translation team have translated an interview between the author of 100 Girlfriends, Rikido Nakamura, and the creator of Kaguya-sama and Oshinoko, Aka Akasaka, since they're both fans of each other's works. I won't show the entire interview, but I will show this from the most recent chapter. Originally, during the Hakuri rescue arc, Hakuri wasn't supposed to be a soulmate, and instead, it was supposed to be that Hakuri would have an older sister who would become a soulmate. However, the idea was changed to having the mother become a soulmate instead. Nakamura planned to include a mother down the line, but it just felt right to introduce her there, and introducing 2 female characters at once wouldn't have them developed as well as the others, which makes sense because the first chapter, where 2 girlfriends are introduced simultaneously, is the longest chapter in the series. The entire interview is great, and you can tell that Nakamura is 100% dedicated to making the entire series come to a reality, all 100 girlfriends, however long that'll take, and it ends with him praising Yukiko Nozawa, the artist for the series. We really have the two best people making this series, with Nakamura and Nozawa. They're both all in here, and shoutouts to ZoonScans for translating the interview. And like I mentioned, I want to talk about a few things regarding Season 2. So I still plan on making these videos watchable for anime only, so I won't go over anything that hasn't been covered or at least heavily implied. That being said, I understand the appeal of wanting to go in completely blind, and so if you do not want anything hinted at or potential spoilers, then please go to this time in the video here. Okay, so with Season 2, if you're wondering who the girls shown at the end of the episode are, you'll find out. I won't say any more than that, but I do want to bring up that Season 2 is really where the series gets its formula down to its science. The Hakuri Rescue arc is the longest arc of the series. So far, we haven't had any other arc go for more than 3 chapters other than that one. So some of the other decently lengthed arcs in this series might be able to get done in just 1 episode, depending on how it's paced. And Season 1 didn't end on the chapter I originally thought it would, but it's a good ending spot. The next chapter does work well as a way to begin the next season. And if you thought Season 1 was weird, Season 2 will have undoubtedly some of the most iconic moments of the entire manga within it. And it gets only weirder. Season 1 is often considered early 100 girlfriends. We need to get the basis formed here, and then we can go full throttle. The pacing will be adjusted so that there will be more episodes in between girlfriends. However, with the current pace, I have no doubt that Season 2 will get to the exact ending point that I'm imagining, because in the manga, Nakamura mentioned it would be a good ending point for the anime if they ever got one, and there's one out right now. Of course, I'd like to see them go further, so I want to keep supporting this series. And there we have it, 100 Girlfriends Season 1 has come to a close, and if you're following along with the manga, then this episode adapted the remainder of Chapter 20, and fully adapts Chapters 21 and 22. We actually had several extra panels skipped during the Hakuri Rescue arc, but they're kinda lewd, so I won't show them here. What have been your favorite episodes? My favorite episodes are probably episodes 3, 5, and 11, but I like them all. And overall, how do you feel about the anime? Has it met your expectations? And how do you feel about my series covering every single episode? I know I haven't really been able to cover currently airing anime for this fall season. I was doing each of these episode reviews, as well as spending 2 months working on ranking every Attack on Titan episode. Speaking of which, I just recently put out my top 10 episodes of Attack on Titan video to conclude my ranking series. So please, check that out and let me know what your favorite episodes of Attack on Titan are too. If you're wondering if I'm planning to continue the 100 Girlfriends episode review series for Season 2, yes. I am fully committed to covering every episode of this series. I swear, I'll be doing these videos till I'm in my 40s, but I don't mind because I love this series. Now that I've reached the conclusion of the Season 1 episode rankings of 100 Girlfriends, this will be my final video of the year. I'm really excited for the videos I've got planned for 2024, and if you've watched any of my videos this year then, thank you so much. I'm having so much fun making these and sharing my love of anime with all of you. Coming up next, I'm going to have the tier list for the fall season, and then after that will be the best anime of 2023 video. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.